How's it going, everyone? So before I go on and, actually talk about the topic here, I want to say two quick things about the topic. First off, I don't actually like VR, and I do truly think it's dumb. I'm not wishing any company to, utterly fail with their VR endeavors because, if it does super well and it ends up working amazing and more innovation happens and more sales and more Sony and whatever, I don't care. Awesome. I just don't like VR. With that said, moving on to the second point, I feel like this news hardly really, it barely matters. But I want to talk about it because it's interesting, which sort of just negated my second point. But anyways, it would seem that a research firm has claimed that the PlayStation VR is now the market leader in virtual reality. So they're basically making the claim that Sony has 30% of the market when it comes to VR, right next to Facebook at 11, Google at 8, Samsung 7, HTC 6, and you see other things down there as well, little tiny ones. There's literally, I can look at a Crytek one that's 4% for some reason, and I don't know. There's just a lot of different things out there, and they went on to say this is over 30 different companies and 40 products. So we're talking about companies that are actually making two products to compete against each other, and so they're sort of together in the percentage. It's just kind of weird. It's a weird market as of right now, just because, as far as I'm aware, there are a lot of sort of mergers. You look at Facebook and Oculus Rift, Valve's HTC, and then Samsung doing their own thing, Google sort of doing their own thing. It's a weird market right now, but I think the reason Sony is doing so well when it comes to this figure is because basically they have a huge PlayStation 4 install base. That's a fact. I don't know what it's at right now. I want to say 40 million. I could look up VG charts, but excuse me, I'm not sure on the exact number of PlayStation 4. Yeah, 45 million, 45.8 according to VG charts, which is about 55% of the market when it comes to PS4, Xbox One, and Wii U. We have the Xbox One sitting at 23.8, and then the Wii U measly sitting at 13.5 million. So yeah, with that said, it makes sense. Not only do they have an install base, but they have a brand recognition. You look at something like Oculus Rift. No one's had, an Oculus Rift and played Crash Bandicoot on it. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. The Valve HTC Vive. Okay, you got a decently sized phone company, and then you have the Steam sort of creator or controller, I should say. The problem with that is basically support. People know Steam as the PC gaming sort of, king, I guess, if you will. You got other things like the Microsoft Store and EA Origin. I think Ubisoft has their own thing, or either that or it's dead or something. I'm not sure. But, when you look at PC gaming, it's pretty fragmented, and I think people realize that when it comes to the people who are buying VR. Whereas with the PlayStation VR, it looks like it's going to be well supported. Whether or not it truly is, I don't know, but I guess take that for what it is. So, yeah, back to my second point, I feel like this hardly matters because it's a tiny sort of market. It would seem that Sony had actually completely cut their PlayStation VR sales projections. They originally estimated over 2.5 million, and now they're thinking they're barely going to get to 1 million. So it seems like a rocky start, but at the same time, if they get that lead and they actually get people into VR, people are going to commit to the PlayStation brand when it comes to VR. And I think that's, again, we got to go back to the first point that I don't actually like VR. I think it's dumb. I'd much rather have us move into 4K, and I don't even think, I wouldn't advise the normal average consumer to go out and buy a 4K TV for one very simple reason, and that's because there's hardly any content in 4K. There's literally more content on YouTube for 4K than there are Blu-rays and movies and stuff. So it's if you really want to watch that vlogger in 4K, I guess do your thing, but it's not really worth it right now. But either way, I'd have us rather go in that direction, or glasses free 3D. I know that came and went fast and furious, but that's just my opinion. I don't enjoy VR that much. I've never used it, but I just don't think it's all that interesting. But with that said, I think if Sony does keep up the sales and they do, lead the market whatever that means, since it's such a niche market as of right now. I think if they do have a main control of the market, people are going to recognize PlayStation as the VR, company. They're the company that they associate virtual reality with, and that's going to give them a lot of leverage moving in the future, whether that be with the PlayStation 5 or if they completely cut consoles and then move into the PC landscape. The PlayStation brand will be super strong, assuming VR does well and Sony keeps up with the VR. Again, this coming from someone who doesn't like VR, and I would, completely honest, rather have Sony make me video games than make PSVR or update my firmware for my PS4. I'm not even kidding. Like, make it better or faster or something. I don't care. Don't really care for VR. But that's my 2 cents. So I want to hear what you guys think about this. So leave your thoughts and comments down below. Don't forget to rate the video and subscribe if you want to see more. So until next time, guys, take it easy.